All right, everybody, welcome back to Vulnerabilities. It's time for WP Safe Block. Today, we're going to be looking at a daily summary of WordPress high and critical vulnerabilities.
Sounds fun.
Oh, it is a blast.
I
I
like
mean,
it.
sometimes. Keeping your WordPress site secure. It's like playing whack-a-mole,
Sure.
right? One vulnerability pops up, you patch it, and then bam, two more appear.
Yeah, you really got to stay on top of it.
We do. That's why we do this.
Yeah.
So, luckily, I have an expert here with me today to
Mhm.
break it all down and make sure that we know what to look out for.
Happy to be here.
So the first vulnerability we're looking at today affects the proofs, social proof testimonials and reviews plugin by Rapuso. Now this plugin, super popular because everybody loves a good testimonial right
Absolutely. Social proof is like gold.
now. It is. It builds trust. But as we're going to see, you can also open a back door to your website.
Yeah, this one's a bit of a heartbreaker because testimonials are so valuable. But this particular plugin has a vulnerability that we need to talk about.
So can you break down for us exactly what kind of vulnerability we're dealing with here?
Sure. So we're looking at a stored cross-site scripting vulnerability.
XSS.
XSS, exactly. It's basically a way for attackers to inject malicious code into your website. Like imagine planting a little time bomb.
Okay.
And when an unsuspecting visitor comes along, boom, that code explodes.
Huh.
And the attacker can do all sorts of nasty things.
Like what?
Well, they could steal sensitive information, redirect visitors to malicious websites, or even take control of your entire site.
That sounds bad.
It is.
So where exactly is the vulnerability in this plugin?
So the vulnerability is in a shortcode.
A shortcode.
Yeah, you know those little snippets of code that let you add dynamic content to your site?
Right.
Well, the one we're talking about here is called War Image Badge 1, and
Right.
basically versions of the plugin up to 5.20. They don't properly sanitize user input for this shortcode, so an attacker could use it to sneak in that malicious code we were talking about.
No.
And here's the kicker. They only need contributor-level access or higher to do it.
So you're telling me someone I've given permission to contribute content to my site could potentially compromise the whole thing?
That's the danger. And that's why this is rated as a critical vulnerability.
I see.
You might think, oh, I only give contributor access to trusted people. But accounts can be compromised. Passwords can be stolen.
Right.
You always need to be thinking about the worst case scenario.
Okay. Message received. Update the Rapuso plugin if you're using it.
ASCPP.
Stat. Now, the second vulnerability we need to talk about hits a plugin called PostGrid and Gutenberg blocks. And this one's all about privilege escalation.
Ah, yes. Privilege escalation.
And I'm guessing that's not a good thing.
No, not at all. Imagine you have a secure building with different levels of access. Some people are allowed in the lobby.
Okay.
Others have access to specific floors. And then there are those with master keys to the whole building.
Gotcha.
Privilege escalation is like an attacker finding a way to snatch that master key.
So in the context of this plugin,
Yeah.
how does that actually work?
So versions 2.2.85 to 2.3.3 of the plugin have a flaw that allows anyone, even someone who hasn't even registered on your site, to manipulate the registration process.
Oh.
Yeah, they can exploit this flaw to grant themselves administrator privileges.
So you're saying someone could just waltz in off the street, create an account, and boom, they're running the show.
You got it. It's like leaving the keys to your website under the doormat.
That's terrifying.
And once they have admin access, they can do pretty much anything. Change content, install malicious plugins, steal user data, you name it.
Wow, that is a harsh reality check. So the takeaway here is clear. Updating your plugins. It's
Yeah.
not just about getting shiny new features. It's about patching these security holes before someone else exploits them.
Exactly. And I think it's important to remember that every plugin you install is potentially adding another entry point for attackers.
So before you install that must-have plugin,
Yeah.
ask yourself, do I really need this? And do I trust the developer?
That's a great point. We often focus on the immediate benefits of a plugin, but we don't always consider the potential security risks.
Well, you've given us a lot to think about today, and hopefully you've inspired everyone listening to take a good hard look at their plugin situation.
I hope so.
So to all our listeners out there, stay vigilant, stay updated, and we'll see you next time on WP Safe Block.